All right, here's another week of our option income update. Once a week, I go over my cover calls and cash secured puts and show the income I had and also the trades I made for the week. And I share that. So if anybody wants to be entertained by that, you're more than welcome. Before we go too far, it'd be great if you would subscribe. Recently, I went over 1,000 subscribers, so appreciate all 1,000 of you, plus those that put me over the top. I think it's like 1,400 now. So make sure you like the video and turn on notifications because that's what every person on YouTube tells you what to do. But the most important thing on this page is this is not financial advice. Examples I show are just what I'm doing with my money irresponsibly and all that other good stuff. And I think I deleted my bad advice logo that I had here. So this could be bad advice if you want to take it as bad advice. Either way, no matter what, it's entertainment. So let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet. But before we look at the spreadsheet too far, people ask me, how do I pick my tickers or what tickers do I use? So you can see all the tickers over here. These are all the different trades that are open currently at this particular moment. And I use Yahoo Finance. I don't pay for anything fancy. I don't pay for any charting service or anything like that. I keep it pretty simple. So I have Yahoo and I have the indicators. I have the Bollinger Band, the 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, and you can create an account with Yahoo. And then when you do, you can save this setup and you go here where it says indicators and add them. I do have a video buried somewhere that shows how I set this up. So I basically have the chart set up and then I save the different tickers over here. So I got 37 tickers. I have like SPY and all the good stuff. I have SoFi, I have Robinhood, which I have several cash secured puts on right now that I making me nervous because I thought it would be bouncing back up by now. So if I click on the chart here, I get my same indicators for every single ticker. So I can see Robinhood is like about 108.63, and it's at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. If I didn't already have about 4 or 5 cash secured put contracts on this, I'd be tempted to sell a couple more at maybe 105 or 100. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see what I'm actually have been doing this past week. So this past week, kind of a slow week. The market just didn't move in a way that had me doing much trading. So I had a lot of cash secured put with the expiration of January 16th, and that's what the date is today. And the reason why the 16th is because options have monthly expiration dates. So the 16th was a monthly expiration date. And next month, February 20th, is the monthly expiration date. So you can see I got quite a few coming up for February 20th. And I like to close these about a week or so before the expiration date. So you see last week, I had all these with the 16th expiration dates. You can see on the 5th and the 6th and the 7th, basically all last week, I closed a ton of options. And if I highlight this column here, all the green, this is the profit that I made. Last week I made $4,270, which was one of my better weeks. So how did I do this week? Nothing to be ashamed of. 1,851. That's what I have closed this week. So I sort this by when I close the trade. So the first column is when I open the trade, and then the expiration of the contract, and then the third column is when I actually close the trade and lock in. That's when I know exactly how much money I made on the trade. So you collect the premium up front, but then I buy the option back later. And when I do, I have to pay some money back. So this green column is what I get to keep when it's all said and done. Any special trades that I did last week? Not really. The NVIDIA double leverage, I made $825 on that one, so that was a big one. And then TQQQ, $486. So I've been trading quite a bit of both of those. You see the collateral's 31,000 here, and the NVIDIA double leverage is 41,000 here. I'm doing a little experiment in one of my IRAs trying to see if I can make that grow by about 30 to 40% this year. People tell me that's impossible, I'm crazy and everything else, but we'll see. I did get a request, so my option tracking spreadsheet here, I do have a video that shows what this is and what all the columns are, and there's formulas. So if I click like right here, for example, you see up here in the formula bar, things get filled out automatically. So for example, if this trade here goes to 0, I put a 0 in here, all this fills in automatically. I got to put a date in there for it to get these ones to work properly. So once I put the closing date, all this fills in automatically. So basically everything between this line and this line gets filled in automatically depending on the information over here to the left. And you can download this. I'll put a link in the description so you can download it. I'm going to change this back to blank so I don't forget. The other thing people have been asking me about is I have the strike price. So that's the price in the option that the stock has to get to before the option is exercised by the buyer. And I don't really track how much the stock is going for today or when I close the trade. And people have been asking me about that. It's important, but it's not anything I really need to keep track of except for information purposes only. So what I've done, I've actually added a couple columns. So the ST open, so that stands for stock open price, and then ST C is stock closing price. So if I remember, I'm going to put the price of the stock in here, what it was when I sold the option. So I sold a Robinhood cash secured put here, 105 strike price, but Robinhood was trading for 116 when I did it. Same thing here, the NVIDIA double leverage was 82. It was actually trading for 87.70. And I actually did something that I don't do often. I sold a cover call on SoFi. And so SoFi was trading at 26.40 and the strike price is 29. And then I've also been adding what the delta is. So this is good information, especially for anybody who's learning. And I'm sharing these videos so people can learn how to do this. If you want to learn how to do that, I have several videos on how to do a cash secured put and a few on cover calls. I got some on how to roll an option. And I also have a whole series of videos, basically how to do cash secured puts and cover calls for very beginners. There's a whole playlist that shows that. If I jump into my YouTube channel here, the playlist is right here. There's 17 videos there. So check that out if you want to learn more. And getting back to this. So how much did I make again? I think I already went over that. 1851. So that's how much I made. If I let every one of these current options go down to 0, so if I copy that 0 all the way down to here, and if I highlight all these here and look over here, that's $8,430 worth of option premium that I've already collected. Now, realistically, I'll be giving back about a third of that when I close these early, but just giving everybody an idea like how much I got going on here. And I'm going to highlight all these and hit delete, make that go away. Another question I get is how much am I using for collateral? Well, I got 3 different accounts and the accounts are over here. Different letters identify the different accounts. And I have this thing here called a slicer. This is a Google Sheet and it's like a filter. So if I deselect these here and I just look at this one account here, click OK. So this is one account. And if I highlight this here, you see I got 54,000 in collateral that I'm using just for this one account. And let's go through each of these real quick. So this one here, I have, if I highlight this, I got 95,000, which is more than normal because I have this NVIDIA trade that I'm trying to make some money off of. But typically I don't have that much in this account. Usually all 3 accounts are about 60,000 each. And then let's check the last one. And for that one, I have 63,000 collateral being held up right now. So about 180,000 total for all 3 accounts that I'm using to generate income, basically to supplement my retirement income here. I do have a few other projects going on that I share in other videos. I got a Robinhood account that I'm trading some options on. Here's the tracker for that one. I don't include that one over here. I'm actually trading options in my granddaughter's account now, trying to bump that up. At first, we were doing something where we were buying Disney and some toy company stocks for her so she can kind of like learn about the stock market. But in reality, Disney was doing horrible. I think we also had Texas Roadhouse, things that she knows about. And she got kind of bored with it. And I asked her, she wanted to like do something more exciting and make money rather than be all cute with Disney stuff. And she said, "Yeah, let's make some money, Grandpa." So we're doing options in her account. And yes, so that's what we're doing. So anyhow, that's the weekly update. Next week I expect a little bit more action, perhaps. I got a lot of cash secured puts on Robinhood, a lot more than what I would really like to have, but I think it's kind of at a low point right now. I think it's going to bounce up, and I think I'm going to do well with the premium I collected. So this has gone too long. That's weekly update, and we'll see you next week with another video.